morning, Riley. Good morning. Riley. Good morning, Riley. Say good morning, Internet. Good morning to all the people on YouTube. Hey. What you doing? You want to help me find Elfie? He's like, I don't know about that, Mom. Alright. Come with me, Riley. I got Riley. I'm holding him kind of awkwardly, so he's not going to put up with this for long. Look! Look at Elfie this morning. Do you guys see her? Excuse the mess on our island. Okay, Riley wants down, so 1 second. Okay. What? Hey, hold on. Watch your claws. I don't need a hole in my shirt. You gotta be careful with those claws, buddy. I think we have to cut them again. Okay. Elfie is getting a sleigh ride. She's made a sleigh out of her swing. That is too cute. Now I'm off to work. Hey guys, so I am home from work. I've been home from work for a while now. We had ham and cheese quiche for dinner. Alex made it. It was very good. And then I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It was really nice. Work was good today. I did get out early, but not as early as I thought. Turns out I was supposed to get out early at 5 o'clock, but Margaret's mom got stuck in really bad traffic on the way home. So I think I got out just after 5:30. So, but today we just were finishing up working on Christmas cards and gifts for the parents. So I had Annie and Margaret on Monday. They did green handprints on a Christmas card, so one for each of them. And then today they used little metallic circles and stars to decorate it like a Christmas tree. So their hand was the Christmas tree. So we did that. So those are done. And originally I was going to do salt dough handprint ornaments. But it just, once I looked into the process of that, because I've never done them before, I didn't realize that you have to bake them slowly for like 3 hours. So there was just no way we'd be able to fit that in, because Margaret, I don't get her until 3:15, and by the time, you know, like if it's a nicer day, she usually wants to stay on the playground for a bit, and then she likes to walk home with her friend from school, and they kind of dilly-dally and whatnot. So a lot of the time we don't get back to the house until almost 4. And if I'm leaving at 5, that only allows us like an hour, or even if I work till 6, that's only like 2 hours. So there was no time to make the dough, do the handprints, and bake for like 3 hours. It just wasn't going to happen. If I had have looked into it at the beginning of the month, maybe we could have done it on a PA day. That would have probably worked out better. But so I'll know better for next year. But so that was my kind of like last minute change, was okay, we'll do the handprint cards. And then I found this really cool thing on Pinterest, where you take a picture of the kids and you make a snow globe out of laminating paper. So what I'm going to do is draw a circle on the laminating sheet and cut the picture, like you fussy cut their whole body out so there's no background in the picture. And you paint some snow and snowflakes in like on the laminating sheet and let it dry. And then once it's dry, you can put some like sparkles, and then you put the pictures in, and then you seal it in the laminator. And so it's like putting their picture in a snow globe. And I thought that was really cute. So I'm hoping to get obviously I have to get those done tomorrow because we have to give them on Friday. So that'll be my job tomorrow. I have to figure out what size to print the pictures and then get all that done. So I'm excited to see how those turn out. So that's pretty much all what we did today. I decided to stay in again this morning with Annie. We were the plan was the drop-in center again, but I just made the decision that, you know what, like I just got over strep throat and I really don't want to catch anything else and be sick for Christmas. I'm still slowly battling this cold. So I just figured until after Christmas, we are not going to the drop-in center. We are not going to the indoor playground or anywhere where there's going to be a ton of germs for me to be exposed to. So we stayed in this morning, and Annie and I just did lots of activities at the house. We did some sensory, we did discovery bottles, read stories, did her art. We also decorated little foam gingerbread men today, so that was fun. So yeah, that's pretty much how my day was. And so now what I thought I would do, something a little different with today's video, is this is something I've actually wanted to make the last 2 Christmases, but I never got around to doing it. And so what I wanted to do was a video talking about Christmas traditions, and basically just talking about the Christmas traditions that I had growing up. So it's kind of like a then versus now kind of thing. Originally, it was just going to be talking about then. But then I kind of figured, well, you know what? I should compare it, like then and now. How have my traditions stayed the same or changed? So I thought it would be interesting to do. So I just want to put this little disclaimer right here. If there's any children watching, you might want to turn off this video now because I do not want to be responsible for anything children might hear in this video. Not that there's anything really bad, but I've had issues in the past. Like about 3 years ago when I did a Christmas special, there was something that I mentioned in there because when I make my videos, I picture myself talking to adults, not to children. So when I made that video, I was thinking I was talking to adults, and I had some kids that took things the wrong way, or I don't want to, but anyways, I am not responsible for any children hearing or seeing anything in my videos. It is up to parents to monitor what their children are watching. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to try to word things as best as I can, but if you get anything out of this, yeah, anyways, if you're a child, I would just say turn this off. That's all I'm going to say. But so basically what I want to talk about is, first I'll talk about what the traditions were when I was growing up as a child. So Christmas to me has always been my favorite time of the year since I was as little as I can remember. And it wasn't, for me, it wasn't just because I got presents. I know a lot of kids, like, to them, Christmas is all about presents and getting presents. And I guess my mother and my grandmother together raised me to know that it was more than just presents. I mean, obviously, it was always exciting getting presents from Santa and my mom and my grandma and family and whatnot, but that was never to me the main reason that I loved Christmas. Growing up, I always had, and I guess I still do, have a huge imagination. And, that's why I sometimes enjoy doing role play videos, because it gets me using my imagination again, just like I did when I was a kid. So I've always had a huge imagination, and so Christmas to me was always just so magical, and that's what I always loved about it. And one of my favorite memories, and I don't remember how old I was, and I've probably mentioned it a few years ago in videos, is I still remember to this day when I was a kid, there was this one Christmas Eve that I went to bed, and in the middle of the night I woke up and I needed to go to the bathroom. But I was afraid to get up because I always was told, Santa won't come until you're sleeping. And I didn't want Santa to catch me awake. But all of a sudden I heard jingle bells. I heard bells ringing. And to this day, in my mind, I can still remember that sound. And to this day, I have no explanation for it. I really don't know if it was just me dreaming or if I was just letting my imagination get away with me or what it was, but I distinctly heard bells. And so anyways, I called my mom to come and take me to the bathroom. And I still remember telling her, I'm hearing Santa's bells. Like, do you hear them? And I don't know if my mom heard them, but she was like, okay, well then you better hurry and like get back to bed and whatever. But I always remember that. And then there was another Christmas where I was probably even younger. Because back when I was the only grandchild in the family, because I was the first grandchild to be born in the family. So when it was just me, what our tradition was that I would go to bed early, Christmas Eve, and then my family would come to our house and have like a little Christmas get-together, Christmas party for a couple hours, and then they would wake me up at midnight, and I would come out and open my presents. I believe it was midnight. Maybe it was earlier. I don't know. And I would open my presents and all this stuff, and then everyone would go home and I would go to bed. So that was our tradition for, I don't know how many years that lasted. I guess it was until the second grandchild was born. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I do remember one Christmas, like I was in bed and I woke up a little bit early before they had a chance to wake me up. And I could hear everyone in the living room, and then all of a sudden I heard bells and I heard, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And I was like, Santa's here. So I remember like trying to go back to sleep, and so that was another good memory. But once, we stopped doing that, then it just became go to bed Christmas Eve, wake up Christmas morning and open presents. And some years my grandmother would come and stay the night at our house and spend Christmas morning with us. Once my grandfather had passed away. I think he passed away when I was about 7. So after that, quite often my grandmother would spend Christmas with us. And it was just so nice. Like, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just the gifts. It was spending time with family. I always loved being with my family. And every Christmas Eve, I would write a letter to Santa to leave out on the kitchen table, and I would put milk and cookies and a carrot for Rudolph. And when I would wake up in the morning, I would usually wake up while it was still dark. I would wake up at like 5 o'clock and try to get my mom out of bed. And we always had the rule that I could not get up and go out to the living room until my mom went and checked to see if Santa had come. And if she saw that he hadn't come yet, I had to go back to bed. And so anyways, usually if she felt like getting up, then she would say, okay, let's go. And I always liked, even as I got older, I always wanted to still get up while it was still dark because I wanted to have all the Christmas lights on. And obviously, when it's light out, you can't see them as well. And I always liked having the Christmas lights on the tree. And we had a light up Santa in our window with his sleigh and reindeer. And so I always liked to have, I think that was one of the main reasons I always wanted to get up so early, is because I wanted the lights to show and be on. And so basically our routine is that we would get up, go to the bathroom, brush our teeth, and then we would go out and see. And usually Santa would have left a letter to me, and we would read it, and there would be lots of crumbs left on the plate because Santa had eaten his cookies. And the carrot would be all gnawed up from Rudolph eating it. And also bits of Santa's beard. White hair from his beard would always be kind of on the plate or on the placemat around the plate. So I was always excited to find that kind of stuff. And then once we did that, we would usually start by opening the stockings. And when I got a little bit older, we would make some hot chocolate first and have some hot chocolate while we opened our stockings. Then we would start with the gifts. And the gifts always took a long time to open because there wasn't just gifts from Santa. There was gifts from my mom, sometimes from my grandma. And my mom had gifts to open from Santa and me and my grandmother and stuff. So, and we would literally open one gift at a time because we always wanted to see what everyone got. So it wasn't like everyone opening gifts at the same time. It was one at a time. And me loving dolls, as I've loved dolls my whole life, another part of my Christmas tradition was to dress my babies in pajamas the night before Christmas, and they would come out with me in the morning to open gifts. So almost every picture, because my mom had this tradition too, of taking my photo when I first entered the living room so that she would catch my expression to all the gifts under the tree on camera. And almost every single picture that she took of me coming into the living room, I have my Cabbage Patch in one arm and my Child doll in my other arm. And even one Christmas I had a third doll, which was my rag doll. And so I always had dolls come out with me in their pajamas every Christmas morning. So that was another tradition. And yeah, so we would just take a few hours to slowly open gifts. And then if we didn't have any plans with other family that day, then we would just spend the day relaxing. I would play with my new toys and we'd watch some Christmas movies. And oh, and another tradition was to always play the Sesame Street, no, sorry, not the Sesame Street, the Disney Christmas record. And as an adult, I was fortunate enough to find the record on cassette at Value Village one year. And so so I still play it to this day, but we'll get into that when I talk about my traditions now. But yeah, that was like the record we always played, that and Sesame Street Christmas, but it would always be the Disney one first. And yeah, so that was like our main traditions. Also, for quite a few years, we would go to midnight mass the night before Christmas, because I was raised Catholic. So we would always go to midnight mass. But as I got older, we kind of didn't go every year. It was kind of like scattered. what else did we do? Well, like prior to Christmas, the tradition was, my mom and I would go down the hall because we lived in an apartment building. We'd go down the hall. We would pull out all the boxes from the locker room that had all our decorations and decorate, and my mom would put together the tree. And my mom wouldn't really let me help decorate the tree because she is very picky with the placement of the ornaments, just like I am now, and that's where I get it from. But our first year here in this apartment, when I did our Christmas tree the first year, my mom loves my Christmas tree, and she's like, man, she goes, I feel bad that I didn't let you help decorate the tree, because she goes, you obviously can do it. Like, she's like, you do a really good job. And I'm like, well, I learned from you. So, anyway, so that we would just like put on Christmas carols and decorate, and I loved it. And then we would always go and buy some toys to donate to the toy drive. And back then, the toy drive was at McDonald's. It was this big bin in the shape of a drum. And so we always used to have fun going there every year before Christmas. And we would go in, and that bin would be pretty much empty. And by the time we left, it was almost full. And so that's, again, how come I'm such a giving person, because I was raised to be that way. Like, we always were raised with the awareness that there was others less fortunate, and, to help where we could. So my grandmother and my mom really instilled that in me. And so yeah, we would do that every year, which was lots of fun for me. I always loved doing that, and I still to this day enjoy giving to others because of that. So I think, I don't know if there was anything else. Oh, and then of course, we always enjoyed watching Christmas movies every year. And the older I got, the more of a tradition it became. Like, when I was younger, we would watch Frosty, we would watch Rudolph, maybe The Grinch, little specials like that. And then as I got older, I got more into the actual like full-length movies. And then I don't know what age it started, but there was an age that I basically made my own tradition that every year I have to watch the same Christmas movies. And my mom isn't like that. She likes to watch new Christmas movies every year. So like, they always have those made for TV Christmas movies come out every year, and she likes watching those. So it's something new every year. Whereas me, I like to watch the same ones every year, because to me that's like tradition and they're classics. So those are the traditions that I had back then. And so now as an adult, I would say I've kept a lot of those traditions. If I had a real child of my own, I would probably carry on a lot of those traditions with my kids. The same ones, with the milk and cookies and the carrot and all that stuff. And as you've seen, I have done those as role play with my dolls to show you kind of like the tradition that I had as a kid and what I would carry on with my children if I had real children. So, but obviously, I don't have kids, so, it's not the same. But, yeah, so basically, I still carry on the same traditions as you see. I love decorating, love doing my Christmas tree. And then, of course, like I said, I still watch the same movies every year, and the list has expanded over the years. To include things like the Polar Express. For the last few years now, I always watch the Polar Express every year. I always do Home Alone 1 and 2, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, And then, of course, all the specials like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Sesame Street Christmas. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. I love the animated version of that. And I used to really love Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol, but we only had it taped on VHS from television, and we don't have a VCR to play it on anymore. And we can't find it anywhere to download or to buy, which is really disappointing because I love that one. So I haven't been able to watch that one in years, like since I was a kid. I always watch A Mom for Christmas with Olivia Newton-John. I love that movie. Some people think it's really corny. I really like it. The Little Match Girl, and it's the version that has Rudy Huxtable from The Cosby Show. I also like the movie A Little Piece of Heaven with Kirk Cameron. I watch One Magic Christmas is probably one of my top favorites to watch. It always makes me cry. I would say my top three are Polar Express, One Magic Christmas, and Miracle on 34th Street. Definitely those are my favorites. And then I also watch It's a Wonderful Life. I wasn't so big into that movie when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've really enjoyed that movie. I feel like there's more. Oh, To Grandmother's House We Go with the Olsen twins. All I Want for Christmas with Thora Birch. And I actually have my Christmas movies back here. I should have a look at them and see. I think I've covered them all. Yeah. They're all in there. Yeah, so I think that's all of them. So those are the ones that I watch every year. And so that's definitely a tradition I've kept. And donating toys every year is a tradition I've kept. Trying to think. I feel like there's some. Oh yes, the Disney record that I found on cassette. So I play that every Christmas morning with Alex and I. Always play that. I still have my little cassette player and play that every Christmas morning. So that's kind of nice that I can still keep that tradition going. Don't do midnight mass anymore. I think those are the main traditions that I've carried on as an adult. And I kind of would like if I had a kid, I'd kind of like to start a new tradition of, I've heard some people that do this, they get Christmas pajamas every year and like a storybook or a movie on Christmas Eve. I think that would be really fun to do. I never did that as a kid, but I've heard of other people doing it and I thought it was really cute. I've started Elf on the Shelf as a role play kind of thing with the dolls. I would probably put a lot more effort into it if I had a real kid though. Because it's a lot of work to come up with like stuff like to do with those elves every day. It's like, whoa. So yeah, I would say those are like the new tradition, like that's the new tradition I have is the Elf on the Shelf thing. And I have actually thought of just like doing the Christmas pajama thing for Alex and I. I might try that next year. I don't know. It might be cute to have like a new pair of pajamas to wear on Christmas Eve. I don't know. Something to think about. But yeah, I would say those are all the main things that I've carried on. And obviously, I still bring out babies with me every Christmas morning. I have plenty of babies to choose from. So I still do a little Christmas thing with some of the babies on Christmas morning. That's always fun. And we always wake up, get our hot chocolate. So the hot chocolate thing I've kept. We do our hot chocolate, and then we do our stockings, and then we do gifts. So that's kind of the same too. Yeah. The only thing that's changed though is that we don't get up when it's dark. We don't get up when it's dark because, well, we live in a basement. So if we keep, like, we don't get a lot of natural light anyways. So you can kind of see our tree at any given time of the day, in terms of lighting. But also because we're adults and we just don't want to get up that early. We just want to sleep in. So that's where that's changed a little. But yeah, so I mean, I would say not a lot has changed. And like I said, if I had kids, I would probably say nothing would have changed because we would still do milk and cookies and the carrot and all that stuff. And the secret that, well, I found out eventually where the Santa beard hairs came from, and my mom would actually pluck them off of one of my stuffed animals. So I would definitely do that with my kids too, because I think that was like, it was, to me as a kid, that was like mind-blowing. It was like, oh my gosh, and this is some of his beard. Like, it was the coolest thing. So yeah, and just basically, keeping that spirit of Christmas alive and the spirit of Santa alive, because I truly believe in the spirit of Santa. Like, obviously I know, like, the main purpose for Christmas is Jesus' birthday. I was raised with that. I know that. I believe in God and all that. But I also believe in the spirit of giving and the spirit of Santa, this like nice, jolly spirit that's around at this time of the year. And we all have a role. At least this is how it was explained to me by my grandmother. We all have the role of keeping Santa's spirit alive by giving to others. And in turn, also celebrating Jesus' birthday. Like, I don't know. It's just, even now, like the child in me still loves the magical part of Christmas. Like, I don't know, there's just something very special about it. It brings back warm, fuzzy feelings and memories of being with my family as a kid. And now that I'm an adult and a lot of our family has moved to various parts of Ontario, we don't all get together like we used to anymore. Unfortunately, it just doesn't always happen. And so, I kind of miss that, because we had amazing times together as a family at we would usually get together at my grandmother's when she still had her house, and we'd all go into the basement and open gifts, and we'd have turkey dinner, and I would play with my cousins. And I think, I have good memories about that too, because that was when my cousin Brittany was still alive. And Brittany and her sister Jessica and myself, we were like the Three Musketeers. We were like this. And we were like sisters. And we would have so much fun playing with our new toys and dancing to music in the basement and playing games, and just so many great memories. And I miss her so much, but I know she's with us every Christmas, and it's nice. I just like reminiscing every year at Christmas, and I just like being with family. And you know, the family that I can be with. And yeah, it's just a warm, fuzzy time of the year, and it's also my birthday month, which is like a bonus. So I just love it. I love the month of December. I love Christmas, all of that stuff. So anyways, this video has probably turned out to be much longer than I anticipated. So I think I'm gonna end it here, and I'll ask you guys in the comments below, what are your Christmas traditions then and versus now? If you want, you could even make it a tag video and make a video and talk about it yourself. But I hope you enjoyed hearing my stories and memories and traditions. And we'll sign off on this video. Riley's giving himself a bath. Hi, buddy. And we will put this here. Tomorrow is the 21st. Everybody pray for my dad. He is having surgery on his hernia. Hopefully everything goes well. He should be going home the same day, apparently. So hopefully he'll recover well, and we'll see him in about a week. So anyway, I'll probably call him like tomorrow night to see how things went. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to click subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload any new videos. Thanks for watching, guys.